All right, example 5. It says use compound interest formulas. Compound interest can be found by using one of two excuse me, one of two exponential equations. If the interest is compounded n times per year, use the formula that a is equal to p times 1 plus r over n raised to the nt. If the interest is compounded continuously, then use the formula a is equal to p times e raised to the rt. Now, what does a represent? What does this A represent in both of these formulas? The ending amount. What does P represent? P is your principal, which is your beginning amount. We might need to write this down, huh? All right, so A. They put an A because really it's your accrued value, but it's the same thing as saying ending amount. You understand that better. P is your principal, which is your beginning amount. All right, looking through the top one there's a 1. That's just a number. What is R?
Rate.
That is the rate as a decimal. So don't forget, they're going to give it to you as a percent. You got to change it to a decimal. What is N? The number of times compounded per year. And what is T? It is the time in years. So be careful because I've seen it before where they'll tell you something happened in 18 months. Don't use 18. It's in years, so you got to use 1.5, okay?
Why do they do that? They're just jerks.
To make you pay attention.
18 months is a year and 6
Mm-hmm.
months.
So a year and a half.
Should do that.
All right, and the only other thing is in that second formula, I have that letter E. What is E?
E. The number.
That number, right? It's that irrational number that's on my calculator, okay? All right, so number 5 here says find the accumulated value of an investment of $5,000 for 20 years at an interest rate of 6.5% if the money is compounded, and the first one is semi-annually. Well, it's not compounded continuously, so we're not going to use what most people refer to like as the PERT equation because of the P-E-R-T. So we must be going to use the first one. So semi-annually means what?
Half a year?
Yeah, every half a year. And how many halves do we have in a full year? 2. So this is telling us that N is 2. All right, but I'm going to come over here to the side, and I'm going to write out the other stuff. It says find the accumulated value. So what are we after?
Wait, how do you know which equation to use?
Okay. All right, hold on. Good question is, how do we know which equation to use? Remember, you only use that last equation if it says compounded continuously. This one says compounded semi-annually, right? So let's go through and let's put what all of our information here is. So the accumulated value is that ending value. So that's what we're after, right? What is the beginning amount?
5,000.
The 5,000. What is the rate as a decimal?
0.065.
Yeah, if you need to, write it down, guys, and then move your decimal over 2 places or divide it by 100, so 0.065. And what is the time in years? 20. Yeah, 20.
So then what's the T?
That is T. T is the time in years.
So what's N?
N is a semi-annually, which we said is
2.
2 times a year. All right, so let's plug this in. So A equals RP times 1 plus our R as a decimal over our N raised to the N times the T. Now we're going to plug this side in our calculator. Now I'm going to go ahead. I know what 2 times 20 is, so I'm just going to make that a little easier on myself, especially because if you have one of the older calculators, that actually puts the carrot top in there, you have to put that 2 times 20 in parentheses. You have to tell it that both of them are in the exponent. So if you can multiply, just go ahead and do it. All right, so then type the rest of it in the calculator. Unless you want to do it by hand.
What was the big number?
Well, let's think about it. 6.5% interest is not a bad rate. It only starts $5,000, but it's in there for 20 years. That's quite a bit of time, isn't it? So do I expect this number to be bigger?
Yes.
Yeah, so what did we get?
Was that 117,971.0?
All right, so 17,971 and a penny, right?
Wait. A penny's worth 0.01?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're
1
right,
cent.
You're right, you're right.
Woo. All right, B.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Quarterly. What is quarterly?
4.
4. So this is just telling my n is now going to be 4. So we're going to do the same thing. A equals, the only thing that changed here is our n. Now, they're compounding it more times per year, so I do expect my amount to go up, but do I think it's going to go up a whole lot from 2 to 4 times a year?
Yeah.
Not really. And so what did we find A to be here?
Okay. $18,105 and 57
Good. All right, C says monthly.
So 18. 12. 12.
There's 12 months in a year, so our n is now going to be 12. So the same thing, just change your n to 12. Oh. All right, again, we're compounding it more frequently, so I do expect it to go up. But again, I don't expect it to go up a whole lot. So what did we get? 18,000.
$282.32.
Good. And then continuously. What is my n for continuously?
It's the last equation.
Yeah, we don't have an n for it, right? It's that other equation. So it's that A equals P times E raised to the RT. So we're still after that ending amount. P is still 5,000. E is that button on my calculator that represents that irrational number. Raised to the rate as a decimal times the time in years. And what did we get?
18,346.48.
Very good.